We're diving into a topic that every watch owner needs to know: how to properly clean and maintain your watch. Whether you've got a daily beater or a luxury timepiece, keeping it in top shape is essential for its longevity and performance. Let's get into it. First things first, why is cleaning your watch so important? And the answer is very simple. It's because if your watch is dirty, if you have oil, dirt, grime, all that stuff on the watch, it's not just for looks. It can actually make its way into the watch and it can ruin the movement. So you want to make sure to keep a clean watch so that that doesn't happen. Now, we do recommend routine service on every single watch where they do a cleaning and they do lube up the parts and make sure that they work. However, keeping your watch clean can delay this process a little bit. And as we know, servicing a watch can be quite expensive. Anyway, let's dive into what tools we need. It's relatively simple. You don't need anything too fancy. All you really need is a soft microfiber cloth, a bowl or a cup of soapy water, nothing too harsh, just dish soap is plenty. Very soft bristle brush. I don't recommend a toothbrush because it can actually scratch the watch. Some plastics are hard enough to do that. So not a toothbrush, but maybe a paintbrush or something much softer. And then for the bracelet and for very difficult areas, you're going to want to use a toothpick or a specialized watch cleaning tool called pegwood, which does not scratch the watch in any way, shape, or form. A toothpick is perfectly fine. You don't need to buy pegwood. Now remember, you're going to want to avoid anything too abrasive or stronger than the hardness of the metal of your watch so that you don't scratch it. It also helps to understand what kind of watch you have. If you have a dive watch, for example, it is going to be much easier to clean than an old vintage Speedmaster or maybe an old quartz watch where the seals have failed, and if you get water inside, the watch is done. So make sure you also know what kind of watch you have. Again, if you have a dive watch that's relatively new, yeah, you could just put soap on it and run it under the sink and not really care. But if you don't have something waterproof like a Speedmaster, don't do that. So know what kind of watch you have as well. So let's start with the case and the bracelet. If your watch has a stainless steel bracelet, it's best to take it off. However, I know that not everyone knows how to do that. So in this video, we're going to leave it on. But if your watch has a NATO strap, a leather strap, or whatever, try to remove those. They're pretty easy to remove. So if you can do it, great. If not, then that's okay too. But the grime really tends to accumulate in between the lugs of the bracelet because that's really where the oils from your wrist and your hand get trapped the most. But anyway, here's a simple step-by-step process on how to do it. If you can remove the bracelet, great. If not, then it's fine. You're going to want to take the bracelet and you're going to want to clean it thoroughly with some soapy water and try to dig in there with a toothpick to get the real grime out. It can look pretty nasty in there, but if it does look nasty, good for you because that means you're wearing your watch. So you should be proud of yourself for that. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the case, you're going to want to take the soapy water, and you're going to want to put it on the microfiber. Then you're going to want to take the microfiber and you're going to want to scrub the case down. Be careful not to oversaturate the case if your watch is not waterproof because we don't want anything to happen, of course. Never take your watch and run it underwater unless, again, it's a dive watch. But if it's not a dive watch or if you don't know if it's a dive watch or not, don't run it underwater. Do not do that. Then you're going to want to rinse everything clean, but not rinse like under the sink. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your microfiber, you're going to want to rinse that, get the soap and dirt off of that, and then rub the watch down. Immediately dry it with a very dry microfiber cloth and avoid any water spots. Lastly, let's get a little bit technical here and let's talk about the movement. Now, for most of us, we should leave this to the professionals. You should never open your watch and look at it and play with it or whatever unless you really know what you're doing. However, what you can do is get the watch serviced at your regular maintenance schedule. That's what we recommend. It's usually 5 to 7 years, depends on the manufacturer. What we recommend is you actually keep the watch running, because this keeps all the parts lubricated and running well. If you have your watch sitting in a drawer for a year or two and then you say, hey, I'm going to wear this and start running it, it's very similar to a car in a way that if you leave your car sitting for over a year and then you run it, you don't really want to do that because the oil hasn't been circulating. What you want to do for a car is you want to prime it. You want to get the oil going before you turn the engine over so it's nice and lubed. And it's similar with a watch. You want to try to keep it going as much as possible. And that's how you're going to prolong a unnecessary service. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. You can see my puppy in the background. Subscribe for him. He's a good little dude. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. Peace.